Legal Counsel Attorney Salvador Panelo. Attorney Panelo, good afternoon and welcome to Dateline Philippines.
Good afternoon, Stanley.
It's good to have you here. Now, we've seen that report, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. willing to reconcile with his political enemies, the Duterte family in particular. What do you make of that move?
Well, as far as 2 or 3 months ago, a mutual friend of ours made a move asking me if it is possible to reconcile the two. I said, that's very possible because this particular mutual friend of ours is afraid that if the two does not reconcile, it will create a political upheaval. And I said, you start doing that, and I don't think the Dutertes would not welcome that because they've been saying that all they want is peace in this country. Now, I told him also that all you have to do is to tell the former or the president, Marcos Jr., to stick with his position of no jurisdiction. If he brings back the former president in the Philippines, then there will be reconciliation. And it's not very hard to do that, Stanley. All he has to do is to ask ICC to bring back the former president here because his position at the very inception was there is no jurisdiction. And all he has to do is to tell the ICC that his people made a mistake in arresting, detaining, and sending to the jail the former president. And he is correcting it by asking them to bring him back. And I think that will be a very important reconciliation gesture.
And in the absence of that, actually asking the ICC to bring back the former president, do you find some sincerity in what he's doing now?
That he wants to reconcile?
Yeah,
of course.
just reconcile.
Yeah, you must remember that the concluded national elections is a total repudiation of the Marcos administration. And he has 3 years to do something about it. Otherwise, as I said, the clock is ticking and the days of these administrations are numbered. So he has to do something about it. And that, to my mind, is a welcome sign. I think he's sincere. He wants to reconcile.
And he also mentioned himself that, the people are fed up of the political feud and they want something that is more tangible, solutions from the government on the very little problems, the very basic and common problems hounding a lot of Filipinos. But is there time still, Attorney Panelo, in the next 3 years? Do you think that is achievable?
Number one, I agree with him when he said that the people are tired of politics. But the problem there is that it was his allies who started politics by going after the vice president, going after the former president. Now, if he is really sincere in doing that, then bring the former president back to the Philippines. And I think he has all the resources and the power to respond to the problems that confront this country from the very beginning of his term.
Okay, so you've mentioned the preconditions, of course, one of which is bringing the former president back to the Philippines. But what about impeachment? Are you expecting him to change or to give a stand on impeachment for you to be convinced that he is, in fact, sincere in his reconciliation offer?
Well, he can do something about it because, as we all know, the political reality in this country is that Congress doesn't move without the approval, the knowledge, and the sanction of the president. And in connection with that, the statement of the vice president saying that she prefers a bloodbath. Of course, what she really wants to say is that you started this, you started the bloodbath. You said that I have committed illegal acts. That's why you filed impeachment charges. I'm ready for that. Let's go with it. You know, that statement was predicated on the advice of the lawyers of the vice president that they could go after the aspect of dismissing the case on the part of the Senate because there are legal reasons for that. Number one, it is untenable for the impeachment to prosper given the fact that Congress, the previous Congress, is not a continuing body. Hence, unlike the Senate, it cannot proceed with the impeachment. Number two, right now, the Filipino mood is against the impeachment.
Okay.
And the senators, to my mind, and to the lawyer's mind of VP, would not want to risk their political future by going to the impeachment trial. And so they said that the senators can among themselves dismiss the impeachment. But VP Sara said, I don't want a truce. I want a bloodbath because they've been saying that I've done this, I've done that, and we're ready for that. So let's proceed with it.
Okay, given the new composition of the Senate, what are your thoughts on, the impeachment? Does the Vice President have the numbers for an acquittal now?
Number one, I've been saying in my show that regardless of the outcome of the election on the senators, in Sara, if ever the impeachment goes through or proceeds, I said then that she will be acquitted because no senator will go against the Filipino sentiment. The sentiment is against the impeachment. They will not risk that because most of them, or 12 of them, will be running for re-election, especially now when the Alianza suffered a humiliating defeat. They know that those who went against President Marcos frontally have suffered the devastating defeat on the polls.
Oh.
Kaya siguro, yan, babaliktad yung mga yan.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the defense team, the prosecution team at the Senate? We know for a fact that Congresswoman De Lima and Diokno will be part of the prosecution team. They have said yes. Do you think that is a formidable force as well?
Well, number one, the prosecution panel, before the entry of the two, are members of Congress who have no experience in trial practice. That's one.
Okay.
And any of these two, who still, to my mind, did have the necessary practice in litigation, would not help the prosecution. Unlike the lawyers of the vice president, young, and they're litigators, they're always in court. Kaya kawawa naman itong prosecution. But regardless of that, kahit na may ebidensya o walang ebidensya, whether there is evidence or not, this is a numbers game. I do not think the senators, even assuming that there is evidence, will vote on the basis of the evidence presented to them. Since the issue is political, they will look after their future. They will not go against the Filipino people voting against the impeachment. They will go with the Filipino people. Sigurado